let's move to next topic. So where is HR tech heading? So where do you guys see the HR and recruitment tech landscape in 5 to 10 years? So a long horizon in the AI age.
I think the biggest change is going to go from asking for input and instead providing answers. Because now it's a lot of moving between different categories. It's inputting a lot of information. That I think is going away. You can use AI to capture that much more and visualize that information in a new way, finding patterns in a new way, recommending what to do. So the human in the end becomes much more of a decision maker and strategic thinker and less of a doer of repetitive tasks. I think that is the big difference that is going to happen with lots of different nuances, of course, but the main shift that's happening.
Interesting. What about you, Jonas, from a developer perspective? How do you see this?
No, it's difficult. I've been amazed of the involvement the last years. Just like it wasn't long ago, then the models were at a kind of a high school level of knowledge and the ability to solve problems and stuff like that. Now they are PhD level, and they will most likely become better and better. We see that already now. They're still trained on loads of quite bad data, so they'll definitely improve. And then the question is, how can what's already happened within coding and programming, of course, is that those who work in that kind of field mostly produce text, essentially. Code is text, right? So that's the fields where they're kind of really excelled in already, where it's primarily text production. What's interesting in the HR tech recruiting world is whether tools and new products can kind of come up that can connect to each other and kind of communicate with each other through text. And by that I mean, like, you can have an AI agent that knows how to source, right? But you need to have access to LinkedIn data or the internet in a good way, and then it takes all of that information and put it into another system. For example, like Soolv, where you can compare and interact and search and filter. And then you have this other system that communicates with candidates and so on. So I assume that there will be a lot of new products, new companies showing up who are kind of building this from scratch now. And also in terms of all the regulations we see, I think it will be difficult for some of the older, bigger players to be able to run fast and still be compliant. So for example, we are in Soolv, we built everything to be compliant with the EU's AI Act from scratch. It makes it way easier to be fast when we know that. And I think that's going to affect a bit how the future is going to look, essentially.
How do you see companies doing recruitment and using their recruitment tech stack? Is it through the ATS? Will that serve as the universe, and then you will have a lot of plugins and stuff into the ATS? Or do you see a more fragmented model, people building their own ATSs, and they just sort of shop the stuff that they need in the process?
So I think we're definitely moving towards ecosystem type landscape. We're actually seeing that firsthand, that most ATSs that we end up talking to, because our customers use them, are actively pursuing more functional integrations because they're building an ecosystem. Because I think they acknowledge that they can't be best on anything, and it's very different needs from different type of customers, different type of recruitments. So those that are going to stay as kind of in the ATS category, to stay at system of record, you need to be that layer in the middle that can kind of integrate with different solutions. Our take is that the data that lives in these different systems and point solutions, integrating those and create holistic data on your candidates, your employees, that is what truly unlocks a lot of value. So that's kind of what we are building towards longer term. I think if you're a closed solution as an ATS, you're gradually going to become irrelevant. And if you stay just a point solution, you are in a vulnerable position because everything else will get slightly better. And if you stay just a point solution, then you're not creating a product that necessarily going to stay for the years to come.
And in the HR space, what do you see as being overhyped right now?
A lot, I would say. It's very a lot of hype. I would personally, I think these AIs will replace human recruiters completely. Thing, but like imagining that you have an AI that actually takes the full job away from a human recruiter, and especially because I think there's some kind of good, for example, AI interviews products out there that might work in certain situations, but mostly you will need this human-to-human interaction, and you will need it for a long time. And they're kind of creating bad experiences both for the candidates and for the actual employers using them. And on the other side, I think it's not necessarily hyped, but like most of the ATS providers and other HR systems says now we have AI, we do AI, we have AI screening, and kind of try to hype that on different arenas. And what they mostly do is what we talked about before. They have this one prompt that says, is the candidate motivated? And they show that on the candidate card, essentially. And it's just not very impressive. It's not reliable. You can't trust it. You can't aggregate it. You can't compare it. And it's literally useless. So that's kind of where I feel that they're missing the most when it comes to kind of the hype around AI, and every ATS now is AI enabled and AI built.
Yeah. So overselling the dream of it being fully automated, basically.
Yeah, I would say so.
What do you see as being underrated, except for Soolv then? Like, what's where do you see that there's good traction in HR tech? Here's an interesting actual use case.
I think one thing that's underrated is how difficult it actually is to build truly high-performing, accurate AI systems. If you think that just a prompt is going to solve something, make a nice cover letter, do the screening for you, stuff like that, that doesn't work at all. You need to provide a lot of context and guidance for AI solutions to truly deliver high quality. Edge cases, which are the examples that doesn't fit kind of the most other examples, need to cater for those. So that is really underrated, what's required to actually get it to work properly. I think also the feedback loop in terms of if you get an outcome, how can you use that to make a better outcome next time and next time around? So basically get that learning loop going, not just one-shot outcomes. And those are at least some of the underrated areas in HR tech.
I think also in HR in general, if we like not think about hiring in specifically, so I think it's slightly underrated how good these models actually are now. So as I mentioned earlier, it's kind of PhD level of problem solving and understanding text and context and so on. So especially in HR problems or situations where it's about handling or answering questions internally in a company, making sure certain information is available, like policies, and helping employees essentially getting access of information and solve problems where HR persons historically has had to kind of reply manually and handle all of that. There, I think there will be quite a lot of good solutions or tools essentially for the HR team to just deploy all the knowledge that they have in a more efficient way.
Closing question, and this might be an answer you can give to your future customers. If there are any HR leaders out there, talent acquisition leads, and they're working now on implementing HR tech. What are the do's and don'ts in that implementation process?
I think one is buying a tool without evaluating the process around it. With AI, you can completely rethink your processes, and that might be required to truly get the value out of it. While if you just take a suboptimal process built for completely manual steps and put AI on top of it, that may limit the value you can get. That I think is one. I think another is treated like IT projects. I think that is a huge thing with long timelines, require internal IT resources. It's better to get going, find a place to start, measure the effects, and based on that, kind of expand. That I think is important. And oftentimes there's change management needed, right? If you have people in the organization that fundamentally think differently about how to do recruiting and what to look for, then you need to figure that out if you're gonna start doing some of the work using AI. So those are some of the kind of pitfalls that we see and hear.
Mm. Good. Anything on your end, Jonas, on the technical side? I don't know if this is a typical interplay between the engineering team with the client and also TA, or what's the typical process that you see?
No, well, one thing is like there are a lot of call it scaring propaganda around the use of AI in the corporate world, right? And regulations, and it's you can't put that into ChatGPT, and it's not possible to do and so. And I just want to communicate that it is actually possible to implement in a good and safe way. It's not that scary, not that difficult. For example, we have a lot of knowledge on the area, and are happy to kind of explain to people how it actually works in detail. And that shouldn't be kind of a thing that stops you from actually innovating and trying, because you will be missing out of so much both fun and exciting and innovating processes that you can make sure your company works better. And it's not so scary as it seems.
It's not as scary as it seems. Good closing remarks, Jonas. Thank you so much, both Fredrik and Jonas, for joining the ramp. Really enjoyed the conversation, and all the best with Soolv.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for inviting us.
Cheers.
Cheers.